So essentially today we're going to be ranking every War Thunder content creator's decal on a tier list. And tier lists go from S to D. S is the best, D is the worst. I am ranking everyone's decal just purely at surface level of me looking at the decal and thinking, alright, that looks pretty cool, or it's not so good. But I will also show bias to how easily it can be memed. And you're going to see there's a couple of decals I show bias to because I know how easily they've been memed. If any content creators are watching this, please, this is not personal. This is purely just on the decal face value. So if you don't score as good as you think you should get, let me know in the comments below. Okay, let's get going. We're going to start from the top left. We'll work our way through because, funnily enough, it's in alphabetical order. Well, it's pretty close. Right then, we're going to start off with God mode. It looks kind of okay. It says, you know, the name of the game. God mode. I'm just going to put it in B tier. I don't know. It looks kind of cool. It's got like a Terminator with a deer lifting, you know, a human lifting up a deer head and its Terminator face underneath. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't think it's that strong. I don't think it's that weak though either. I'm going to put it calmly in B. It's a Viking ship. It looks pretty cool. Although I will admit though, if you told me this was like a division insignia, like if some American divisions were putting this on the side of their tanks, I'll believe you. This looks pretty thick. You know what? Again, I might be already being really generous now, but just because I think this could actually be on a World War II vehicle, I'm going to put it in A tier. I think that's pretty neat. Alco. Regus Sportus. It could be French, it could be Italian, I honestly don't know. It's a fish. It actually looks like a pretty cool design of a fish. It's got his name in the middle. It looks pretty alright. But I'm going to put it in B tier. I don't think it's as cool as A. Aqua. It's got the aesthetics vibes. But very minimalist. But a bit too minimalist. I don't know, man. I'm gonna put this in a C. Okay, we've got a Bo here. Bo, this is his actual, I think his YouTuber logo as well. But remember, I'm going off the actual decals, not the content creators. This kind of does remind me of like the Viking ship one where like, I sort of could imagine this on a World War II plane, but it looks a little too modern. I'm going to put it in a B. A guy with a beard and glasses wearing a pink beanie. I'm not that fond of this one. This one doesn't spark as much joy. I'm going to put this in a C. It's not bad, but it's not sparking no joy. Okay, we've got flaming head skull. Mostly head. I don't think it's that interesting. It's alright, it's on fire. Fire's cool, but it's not that interesting. I'm going to give it a C. Because it's got kind of okay art. Got the shadows under the eyes that make it kind of edgy, but Okay, we got CAF. Hard Cas Extra Sass. Okay, I think this is going to earn itself a B. Because I feel like this is something I could imagine on the side of a B-17. The art does look a little bit modern. So not exactly quite fitting. But I think it can snugly fit in next to the Bow one there. Crew GTW. This was one of the earlier decals added to the game, I think. Like some of like the original batches that went out. Crew, all I know about him is that he's a Russian YouTuber. And I think I did technically meet him at Gamescom 2018. I think. But again, he was Russian. And he didn't speak. You know, he does his content in Russian. I don't think he spoke much English. And to be fair, I don't speak Russian. Okay, so we got a samurai-looking girl, or ninja girl sort of thing. I know the people that be like, actually, no, whatever. It's Japanese-inspired girl with samurai sword. Next to, I think, I don't know what it is, but it's like a Japanese 3.7 tank. Like the only half-decent medium tank they built, but they barely made. It looks kind of okay. Not something I'd see on a World War II vehicle. I don't know why I made that a category that I'm weighting quite heavily now. I don't think it's on the B though. It looks cool. I'm going to put it in C. Super Connor. I know nothing about this person, but I'm going to assume they're Russian. I don't like this one so much. It might be the art style, and it could probably qualify for C. But I'm going to put this in D, if that's okay with... yeah, I'm going to put this in D. I don't not like it, but I don't think it belongs here, so it's got to be down here. We've got a literal D here. A literal D. But I don't want to put it in D just because it's got a D. That would just be too silly. I think he's going to go with the D. The D is going to be with the D, but not because he's a D, because I just don't think he's on a C. Okay, we've got D as Decal. He may be working on a rework of this with new art, but this is what I have for now, and this is what you can currently get with his link. I can narrow this down quite easily. Is it B or a C? I mean, yes, I could do D for D tier, but that's just being mean, because I don't think it's a D, definitely. It could be an easy C, but does it deserve the B? I think it's going to go into the C tier. Okay, dollar plays with the mouse. Did you angle today's the text on it, by the way, in case it's small for you guys? Well, dollar plays has a D at the start, so D tier is an option, but it's a kind of a cool skin. It's got like the synthwave vibe going on for it, with the text, did you angle today, taking the Mickey out of mouse players that don't angle. I'm going to put the dollar plays one in, it's either a C or a B. That A is very hard to earn at the moment. I reckon it's on a B. Okay, next we've got a duck with the text full fire on it. Estimated 2013 with the text in the outer ring, never mess. Never mess with the Henschel. When I said with the first applicant to A tier, I was like, oh wow, this looks like something that can actually be on a World War II vehicle, which again, I don't know why I'm waiting quite heavily by that. But I could believe that. It's not that interesting per se, but it looks alright. I'm in a good mood, B. We've got this blue furball with sort of like a tanker helmet. Almost like an American tanker helmet style. I'm going to put it in C. I think it can very comfortably sit there. Next up, GLP. And you kind of got a blank white face mask to the right of it. This one doesn't really spark much interest from me. I don't know the content creator admittedly, but I don't see it as that exciting. I think if it's not getting in C, so it's got to be in a D. Yeah, how can I put it? If I was running a company like Goods Limited Products, Global Logistics Promises, you know, this would be a good logo, I think. Up next, we have this art. Very, very, very much reminds me of the Fairy Odd Parents. I mean, it is the literal art style, I think. So yes, we've got Fairy Odd style parents, and also on the little green cloud floating above the wand is kind of the ubu. I don't think this is getting into B. So it's going to end up in C. But does it deserve to be in C? I think it's going to be D, sadly. Mainly because I don't like the art style. I don't know, it doesn't feel as personal when it's something else's art style. Next up, we've got Newbum Elite. Alright, it's not getting in C because it doesn't have cool art, so I'm just going to put it in D. I think this one's the easy one to do. Next up is Baroness, is what I would say if I was doing Baroness next. But we're not. We're going to leave her till last. I want to see you guys stew. We've got a tiger within a bush. I kind of like this one. This reminds me, again, or like something I could expect in World War II on the side of a vehicle. Not to as high fidelity as the way it's done here, as the colors are like too good and the shading's too good. I don't think it's that meme-worthy. I'm bringing that up again, because like, if I think it's going to be good, it's going to be meme-worthy. I'm going to put this in B, and I must be in a very good mood, because it could easily be in C, but I want to put this in B. JCVS, with the synthwave style. It ain't C, so it's going in D. It doesn't feel that inspired of a decal. Next up, we have Justin Plays. We got a dude in a tanker helmet, and it's wearing reflective sunglasses that say "The Man." I think this is going to be C tier, because it's definitely more inspired than the D tier, but it don't belong in B. So I can comfortably put this in C. I don't speak Russian. I definitely assume it's a Russian content creator. We got something that looks like a big bomb with the outlines of planes within it. I'm assuming I'm just guessing here, but Lancaster. You've got that twin helicopter. It's the Russian one, what, KA-52 or KA-50? I don't remember, but there's only one like Russian helicopter with twin blades like that. A Katushka, and Russian text that I can't speak. I don't think this has earned the place in C. Comfortably goes in D. The Life of Boris. Eastern Europe content creator, as far as I know. He could live in LA for all I know. But Life of Boris, he did a few sponsors with Gaijin, so that's how we have this decal in the game. But I don't think it's cool for a B. So I'm going to pop this in C. Oh, what's this? Where does NordVPN go on our list? Easily S for online internet security. And what a coincidence, they are today's sponsor of this video. VPNs are important for online internet security, because potential hackers can see your unsecured internet traffic. A VPN, such as NordVPN, encrypts your internet connection to protect you from prying eyes. That's not all. You can switch to other countries to unlock content that has been blocked in your country. With just a tap, I can change my location to another country. I love its ease of use and how you can use it out and about. On your phone, tablet, or computer at home, it can work with up to 6 of your devices at once. Go to nordvpn.com/IronArmenian or use the code IronArmenian to get a 2-year plan plus a bonus gift with a huge discount. Comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Now back to the tier list. Next up we got Lucka, who seems to have a very angry buff rooster with a blue helmet and a lucky tattoo on his shoulder. In the background is a puma with a 75mm gun decked out in police colours with siren. Not cool enough for B, definitely better than D, easily goes in C. How about that? I mean, I feel like I need to know some backstory of what's going on here. I'm sure there's some in-jokes here about, the police puma or the angry chicken, rooster thing, why it's got a lucky tattoo. I suppose his name is Lucka, so that works out. Next up, we've got M-Volk with a cool text. Looks like a Metallica band, sort of. When you go to a metal band concert, they've got like this wall of which bands are playing. And you see text that sort of looks like this, especially with that spicy M. Got a wolf head in there. Unfortunately, if you told me this was a tech startup company or maybe like a computer part manufacturer of motherboards, I would believe you. So this is going to have to go into D. Many miles away. This is Many Miles Away YouTube channel logo, I think. You got the light bulbs on the outside, the big German M in the middle, and you got like outlines of M4s on each side with the text Many Miles Away around the bottom. I don't think this is cool enough for C because it doesn't really have much original art per se. It's an original design, but there's definitely worse than D, but this is definitely a high D. But sadly, there's only a D tier. Maybe if I retooled this better, this could have been in C, and all of this art would have been in B. Mike goes boo. Now, this decal can easily be a C tier, easily. But now I'm going to tell you why it deserves to be in B. Does somehow end up being really memeable on tanks. Especially when you play around with like the weird surfaces of... On plane you can't really meme it so much, but on tanks you can definitely do some really weird stuff with this. It doesn't look that unique, and I'm sure you can try meme stuff with others, but the Mike decal is the one that I see memed most, so even though it should really be in C tier, I'm arguing it deserves to be in B. Next up, we've got sort of like a Team Fortress 2 sticky trap. I'm sure there's a name for this sort of shape, where it's a round object with a cone sticking out of it. It don't belong in C tier, let's face it, it's going in the D sadly. Mr. Beast decal. Now Mr. Beast actually has 2 decals in War Thunder. One of them is this, which is his YouTuber logo, and the next one is the text Beast, which unfortunately is just B here because it's a very wide PNG. Normally most people stick to kind of a 1x1 resolution. The Mr. Beast one is a very wide decal. I've used the Mr. Beast decals on the Roland truck, like the German top tier AA, to do like the Mr. Beast sponsored Fortnite battle wagon. But overall the Mr. Beast one should be in C. You know what actually, if I put Many Miles Away one there, and I put the Fairy Odd Tales ripoff art there, and again like this text definitely belongs in D, half of Mr. Beast decal goes in C, and the other half is going to go in D, okay? So the text one, just D. But the Mr. Beast lion head with like kind of the lightning jaguar, is it a jaguar creature? I'm not sure. With like the lightning eye, that can go in C. Okay, next up we've got a yellow N. The N font reminds me sort of... No, I was thinking it's like the Simpsons font. But yeah, it's an N on a dark night sky. It's not too inspired, I think. I think I could just put this in D. I don't need to argue for this one that much. I know nothing about this content creator. I'm going to assume they're Russian though. I don't know if you guys can probably support me with this choice, but I would wager some golden eagles that this guy is Russian. I don't like it that much. It kind of has that cheap art vibe. Well, it was probably nice when the guy got it done in the first place, but it's cute, it's wholesome. The eyes are derping to each side. He's got a headset. It's big old loud. I don't think it's on C. I put definitely way better ones in C. In fact, I should probably just bump everything up by 1. See, I made a new tier just for this fella. Next up, we've got No Image. I do not know this content creator. We've got a red circle with a ace of spades, I'm assuming, in the middle with the context of no image. Easy D, sadly. Next up, we've got Oddballs. We've got Skull Pilot with flight headset and mask cool triangle sort of, not exactly aesthetic theme. I don't know, like some sort of theme that's leaning on aesthetic, but not quite. I like the art. I like the style. I think it's earned itself. It's either B or D. Dum 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 dum. I haven't seen this memes that much. I reckon it's gonna go here. Solid B. Next up, we've got I'm getting the vibe of a crab with a top hat and a monocle. And a short little stubby beard. I don't think he's earned his place in B. The crab isn't cool enough for B, because if I put this side by side with Oddballs' decal, the crab isn't as cool. I mean, I put this next to Justin's decal, the Justin one's cool. I put this next to the blue blob, I think the crab is going to go in C. It could be a tomato. I like to think it's a crab though for some reason, because it's got eyes on it. Next up, we have Oxy's. We've got Oxy's decal, a fairly new entry. It's the Doomer Femboy. A lot of people made jokes about him on stream of being the Doomer Femboy. He embraced it apparently. It kind of hit me when they added this decal to the game, and it was so unexpected. And he's also got an egg in his pocket, which, again, if you're looking at this decal without knowing the context, you wouldn't know what the egg represents. The egg is meant to represent Mike, I think. Now, creativity-wise, it's not that creative per se. It's nice that it has a little egg reference, and it is original art. It isn't just like, opened up MS Paint and popped it in. There was some thought put into this. It's not as memeable as Mike's. So the art's not as good as decals in here. But it is a meme. It's the Wojak meme. It's the first time we got Wojak in War Thunder as a decal. Not a skin, an actual decal you can put on any vehicle. I would normally put this in C, but I think for a momentous event of having Wojak in War Thunder, or Wojak sort of thing, I'm going to pop it in B, if that's okay with you guys. Next up, we've got a Panda Face. Laughing panda sort of thing. Half terrifies me, half cheers me up. Could probably be memeable if I said the Mike one was memeable, which I saw. I'm just going to put it side by side with Mike, yeah. I can imagine this panda being memed, but I've never seen memes of this one. Maybe I might be biased towards the simplistic art style. Okay, next up we have a double whammy. We have two PJ decals. We've got the new edition first, and then the older edition. And the difference is, they both feature a 0 in the bottom area of the photo. The new one features Asda's new design, which has like the flight jacket and a different cap, and I think a T2 in the background. The older decal has the simpler Asda design of like just a shirt and a simple flight hat, and also has a 0 in the upper top of it. I'm going to put the new edition of this decal in A, but I'm going to put the old edition in B. When you look at the decal side by side, I definitely think there's an improvement in like the character design, and also the art of the 0 looks a bit better when you see this like at full screen. So, next up we have the Pewdiepie one, which is his bro fist logo in like the shape of a P sort of thing, because, get it, it's Pewdiepie. Can I argue its case to even be in C tier? No, I've seemed to have preferred like more character-orientated art for C. I think this is going to go in D as a medium lazy logo. It is a recognizable logo, and by being simple and recognizable. But as a decal in War Thunder, I think it's going to go in D. Next up, we have the Fly Daily, and also the Fly Daily 1 million subscriber decal. Now, I quite like Fly Daily's design. He chose, he lucked out with the artist that he chose to do his logo. In fact, actually in his head, I think that's his old logo, or resembles his old logo on like the head there. You got sort of like a flight aviator, but not exactly a fighter jet. It's more of like late 1940, head-to-toe leather jacket, flight mask, cool reflective goggles sort of thing. I'm going to put this in B. I think comfortably it goes in B. Maybe it could be in C. Maybe this could be in A. But I reckon I'm going to put it in B. I reckon his follow-up, the B variant, they've done something kind of cool with the lighting where his goggles are shining gold, because he's got the 1 million subs. It's not that interesting, but I don't think it belongs in C so much. I'm going to put it in B. What do you reckon? Actually, C? Reckon it should go in C? It's not that bad, and the art does look better than the C one. It's zoomed out a bit. It's the same flight helmet, and you got a bit more to torso this time. It's no longer in the logo of the round. It's now kind of the outline of the human more. I'm feeling generous, and I'm going to put this in B, because I don't think it's bad enough to be in C. And it's kind of nice as well. It's a commemorative decal. I don't recognize this logo. If you told me this was a logo on hot sauce, or for kind of like a new pop-up restaurant, I would believe you. But also it could be, you could tell me this was like the logo of the 7th Bomber Squadron of somewhere. I would kind of believe you, but it feels a bit simplistic. I'm going to put this in C. Compared to some of these decals, I think this is going to go in C. Okay, next up we've got, I'm guessing, a Russian content creator based on the Russian text. You've got some sort of biker riding a motorcycle with a orange headband. I'm going to put it in a C. It could be B. Maybe if I was biased towards the guy, I might pop this in B, but I'm going to put this in C for now. It feels better than this one that I'm putting it next to. Maybe it deserves to be in B. C. I'm sorry, fella. It maybe could have been B, but I'm putting it in C. Next up, we have a penguin, who is a private, I think. I don't know the military chevrons, but I think that's a private, right? One. That's like your starting rank. Art is fairly simplistic. Kind of a cute penguin, though, with the big old eyes, blue pupils. Alright then, you know what? I'm going to be nice. I think the penguin's kind of cute. I think it's nice to have cute from time to time in War Thunder. I'm going to put it up into a B. Okay, we've got a muscular Viking-like person. Holy moly, he's not got like a 6-pack, he's got like a 12-pack. I don't even know how many more packs he's got. You look at those side muscles, that's bonkers. We've got a Viking buff dude with a walrus demonic sort of thing creeping over him. Looks kind of cool. It's not C. It's B. Is it A? Is this A? Do I like this enough for it to be an A? You know what? I'm putting this in A. I feel like it's kind of inspired as a logo. Then again, it could also just be, again, another hot sauce company bottle. You know what? I'm looking at some of the stuff in A. I think this gets a B. B's an easy cop-out by me. Next up, we have Rusko 3000. I think they do like lots of Soviet XD meme videos for War Thunder. Looking at the logo, we've got the aesthetic theme once again. On the sun in the red background. You've got a character in the foreground. Helmet on, there's a nuclear explosion going off reflected in his glasses. With the aesthetic text in the bottom, Rusko 3000. I think this is quite good. I think this is going to get an A. I like this logo. It's not too complicated, but it's not too simplistic either. I reckon it's more inspired than some of the B logos. I think this is going to be an A, and it might not be because of the aesthetic balance. I think it's because I'm enjoying like the foreground, the midground, and like the front text popping. I like that. Next up, we have the Russian Badger decal, which is the crying seal meme, lifting up a mask, which is also the crying seal meme. This has very high meme potential, as you can just take the Russian Badger mask and put it on top of any other decal in War Thunder, and it makes it quite amusing. I'm going to have to be biased here. It's face off. This could be A tier, super easy, but I really do like the Russian Badger, and this is my bias kicking in. We're going to have to move this up to S tier. I don't know why, I just really love the crying seal meme. It's so simplistic, it has so much expression in it. S stands for steel. This was a match made in heaven. Crying seal goes into S tier. Honestly, I can't give that much argument about why it's in S tier. I've done a pretty good job so far elaborating why things are where I put them. But for the meme potential and the easiness of this logo, it's good. I just know it's a crying seal. With a crying seal mask, and I like it. Next up, we have Space Cat's new decal, which I think is kind of cute. You got like a cat floating like weightlessly with a almost goldfish bowl thing on their head and little stars sparkling in the background that gives you a spacey vibe. It's kind of cute. Oh, what the heck, it's a cute cat. A. Spitfire's decal. You've got sort of like a RAF roundel in the back. You've got a Spitfire whooshing through. I'm assuming it's a Spitfire, could be a Hurricane. I honestly can barely tell the difference half of the time. And you've got the text Spitfire. I think it looks nice. Relatively clean. I'm going to put it very nicely and snugly into B. S stands for Spitfire, therefore S tier. It's going to very snugly sit in B. It's a cool decal. You've got Spitfire. It's memorable. It's got the name of the content creator on there, so you know who it is. I like it, but it sits snugly in B. Okay. Next up, we have the Spookson logo. We've got a wolf-like creature poking out of a tanker hatch, pointing into the distance, shouting orders for a radio, forward, march, that sort of thing, or, attack. I think it's going to sit snugly in B tier. It's not cool enough for A. It's definitely a lot better than C. I'm going to put the B snugly in B. And I can't put it in S, S for Spookson. It's going to sit very snug in B. Okay, we've got 4 Gaijin Snails now, back to back. We've got the one with a drum, an RPG Rambo sort of snail, a speedy boat snail, and a rocket snail, a snail that could shoot rockets. I'm going to put them in the C tier, because I feel like people won't allow me to put them in B. I'm feeling already pressure on content I haven't even made yet. They are kind of charming. They're not that special though. But they're cookie cutter cute. S, yes, they belong in S for snail. Okay, we've got a Russian content creator, I'm assuming, because of the letters. It's not that spicy of a decal, and I can easily pop it in D. Next, we have European Canadian, where he's kind of got the Canadian logo with the... Actually, what does the cross signify in the logo? But yeah, you got like the maple leaf. It's not that cool of a decal. We can work backwards from this. It doesn't belong in B. Does it belong in C? It doesn't really feel that inspired. When I even look at the ones in C. They've got something going on in there. And I'm going to put it in D tier. I'm just not feeling that cool vibe from it. It's got the fade outs, by the way, in the corners. It's got that going, but it's not that interesting. Next up, we've got the Scottish Koala, I think. Okay, we've got a koala, flight goggles on its head. We've got kind of the breathing mask, for high altitude flying. One of its eyes is scarred to the left. It's battled hardened koala. I think it can very snugly sit next to the Spookson one. They can be 2 furry creatures together. They're both kind of alright. They're definitely better than C. It's not cool enough to be in A, so you can hang out with the Spookson one over here. Next up, we've got a crab with a sword flying a cute little wooden plane with, it's got 8 machine guns on each side. And it's kind of got the Normandy stripes in it as well, I think. It's got the Normandy stripes. The crab is smoking a cigar. It's very edgy. It's got kind of a saber sword, and in the background you kind of got like a blue vibe going on. This might be incredibly dumb, but I'm considering putting this crab in A. I don't know. I like this crab. I think it's a Russian content creator. I never actually watched their stuff, but I like this crab. I think it's pretty cool. A wooden P-47. Yeah, they got 850 cows. Next, we've got a Scottish seal. And you can tell he's Scottish because not only is he wearing a kilt, but he's carrying a Scottish flag. He's also got an anchor tattoo on one of his flippers. I'm going to pop it in C for Scottish, because that's how it works, obviously. Unfortunately, not S for Scottish, C for Scottish. Okay, we've got Tren Lass. We've got a Russian color scheme tank here with the red and the yellow. I don't quite recognize the tank. It's got mixtures of several bits and bobs together. I am not feeling that inspired by this decal, but it's got more effort in than the D ones. It might almost be in D, but I'm going to put it in C, if that's okay. It's not quite an SU-76, because if we were to analyze the tank, we've got the bow gunner on the left-hand side, which is not something you see often. You've got sort of like a Panther turret casing, but it looks like a fixed turret with a muzzle brake. Well, I don't know that much about tanks, so... And also, I think it's just a nice little cartoon. We shouldn't go that in-depth about it. It looks like Blitz from Rainbow Six. Yeah, I didn't judge the headset as well. I don't know if it's a female or male. Okay, next up, we got a V, or very odd-looking tattoo. That, starts with a W. I'll let you guys figure out the rest of that. It's kind of the 1980s aesthetic. But it's not really that cool. It ain't getting in C, so it snugly sits in D. Warp beacon. Looks like a radio tower transmitting, lightning. It's, radio is transmitting. Kind of a tower where you got a spooky pyramid on top and the text warp beacon at the bottom. I mean, getting broadcast company vibe, but the art isn't really that cool. It's kind of got that vibe of, I feel like it's going for kind of a cool, what's it, like 1920s aesthetic you see like in a newspaper. A new company's open up, like brand new electrical company, open up down the... I don't know, it's not that interesting though. Next up, War Tube. You got kind of a blocky Tetris sort of vibe going on. With a 3x3 grid, you got the reds in the bottom and a red square in the middle. It's not that interesting. It says War Tube. Doesn't really have much towards as a decal, but it don't feel like it's offering much. It just goes in D. I can almost speed run these last ones. We've got sort of a pig-styled helmet because it's got the snout, it's got a crash helmet, and it's got ears. But as a logo, it doesn't seem to offer much. It just goes into D. It's also an outline. You can barely see the darn thing. So it's meant to have, transparent background. It doesn't have any colors. It doesn't pop out. Into D it goes. Willy Rex, I think. It's in the metal band font, which I'm barely reading now. There's nothing much going in this design here. Boom. D. We've got a griffin or a dragon. Kind of looks like the Welsh flag dragon. But it's a very boring one. Has nothing going for it. Boom. D. Right then. For all of you that have been waiting to see the grand reveal of where the Baroness or Irons decal is going to end up, you are now going to be rewarded. I will now show you which tier the Baroness decal will go in. Ta-da! So, we've got the Red Baroness, who I think can fit into, is better than a D. Definitely better than a C. Better than B. I definitely think better than an A. This is based on an actual historical decal of the Squadron JG400. It's a cute anime girl riding a HE-162. And I think it can fit into Baroness tier. What do you guys think? I think Baroness fits in Baroness. So, these are just my opinions. This is my tier list. Give me your thoughts and comments in the comments down below. Thoughts and No, give me your thoughts and your opinions about what you think of my tier list in the comments below. I'll be reading the comments. I want to know what you guys think.